Welcome back to MBOX Frustrated User Guide. You're watching Episode 7, Mecool KM9 Gets a Failing Grade in My Book. Subscribers know that I have nothing but praise for the Mecool M8S Pro and M8S Pro L models. I personally own 2 of them. Friends own 4 more. We've never had any problem with any of our 6 boxes, but as I mentioned in a previous episode, there's always room for improvement. So, when I saw a Mecool KM9 on sale at Gearbest with intelligent UI for Android 9 Pie, Gigabit LAN, and USB 3, I bought one. What a disappointment. The Mecool KM9 Gearbest sold me is the worst TV box I've ever owned. Worse even than my first TV box, the unbranded generic MXQ featured in episodes 1 through 4 of this video book. But when I tried to return this unsatisfactory KM9, Gearbest gave me a hard time. The written report I sent immediately was not enough for them. They asked for pictures and additional proof. So, here's the product code they requested. And here's the web page I ordered from. Note that it offers a KM9 with the intelligent UI launcher for Android 9 Pie. But the KM9 Gearbest sent me has VS version 1.0 launcher for Android 7, same as on my 2-year-old M8S Pro models. VS launcher for Android 7 is fine, but it's not what Gearbest advertised. Now, I should mention that when I ordered this KM9 from Gearbest, I also ordered a much less expensive Tanix TX6 box from AliExpress. My intent was to compare the two. The TX6 AliExpress sent me came with Alice UX Launcher for Android 9 Pie, exactly as advertised. That combination is so much better than what I got from Gearbest on this KM9 that I could do an entire episode just comparing the 2 launchers. To add insult to injury, TV Center on the KM9 installs a malfunctioning version of outdated Kodi 17.6. On launch, I get an error message stating, "Detected problems with app native libraries. Please consult log for detail." And unlike the Gearbest ad for the KM9 suggests, no add-ons have been installed. As received, Kodi 17.6 is useless. In contrast, TV Center on the Tanix TX6 installs Kodi 18.1 and it launches perfectly. Look at the add-ons they've pre-installed for you. But it gets worse. Much worse. Android apps like these that install and work perfectly on our old Mecools lock up on the KM9, even when I'm just browsing movie tiles. Streaming? I never got that far. Is that why there are virtually no apps on it? Here's what they advertise. Here's what I got. In contrast, these very same Android apps work perfectly on my Tanix TX6, just as they have on our 6 Mecool M8S Pro boxes. No problems at all. Additionally, the KM9 I received has not been rooted. File browser is useless. Unlike the Mecool M8S Pro shown here, there's no edit menu button. You can select files on the KM9, but you can't cut, copy, paste, or rename them. In contrast, the Tanix TX6 file browser lets you do all of that, and you can even copy files to a network share, a most welcome improvement. Old Mecools couldn't do that. New Mecool can't do anything. But that's not the half of it. The KM9 is supposed to have 1000 megabit per second gigabit networking. This one doesn't. Let's prove it. Here's what 100 megabit per second internet service looks like on my Dell Dimension desktop computer equipped with a PCI gigabit card. Download speed is well over 100 megabits per second, as shown here. Now, here's what 100 megabits per second looks like when I move that same Cat6 cable into the Dell's built-in 10100 Ethernet port. Download speed drops closer to 60 megabits per second, which is typical of every 10100 networking adapter I've ever tested. Now let's move that same Category 6 cable to the Mecool KM9 and run speed test again. Best download speed I could get is just 61 megabits per second. This KM9 doesn't have gigabit networking, not even close. It's falsely advertised. And just for comparison purposes, here's what that same speed test looks like on one of my M8S Pros. The M8S Pro and M8S Pro L both have 10100 networking. Note, similar results. The Tanix TX6 with 10100 networking does 60 megabits per second as well. Even my unbranded MXQ with 10100 networking can do close to 60 megabits per second. So which is it? Do all of these boxes really have gigabit networking? Or does the KM9 simply have 10100 networking? I think it's the latter. So how could this Mecool labeled product, purchased from Gearbest in the summer of 2019, possibly be so bad? Is it a fake? I asked that in my RMA request because when I run spec device on the KM9 Gearbest sold me, the manufacturer field indicates AB. Who is AB? It's a reasonable question. When I run spec device or any similar app on any of our other 6 Mecools, it indicates VS, as in VideoStrong. VideoStrong is the Google licensed manufacturer of all 3 models. That might explain why the VS manufactured products got an A in episode 6, while this AB manufactured Mecool KM9 gets an F. Buyer beware.